All right, what's going on, everyone? And welcome to a kind of a unique commentary battle. This is going to be the commentaries for the Cup of Nations final for 2023 for Rome 2. It's myself as Massilia. Asseror is my opponent. He has Epirus. I've faced him quite a few times already. I faced him in the group stage where it was a 2-1 victory for me. In the playoffs at some point, quarterfinals maybe, it was a 3-1 victory. And now I just need two more games to close it out. But Sarah has quite a bit of data to collect from all those games that we played, and they were mostly very, very close games. Um, so I'm sure he'll definitely have some ideas about how to stop me. Um, and of course, as you can see, this is actually the live video. So this was record. Obviously, the games took place before that, the most recent update, the one that killed the chat. So I can't really replay the battle in like the replay, it won't work. So I'm actually just gonna go from the live play, and I think this will actually offer very unique insight to the game. I can kind of explain my micro decisions, and of course also just commentate the game. But this will be more of an in-depth kind of meta slash analytical analysis of the games because we have the micro and stuff. So um, yep, best of three games. Or sorry, not best of three, but I need to win two, he needs to win three, is what I should say, because I'm coming from the upper bracket. So a bit of an uphill battle, but the way I see it in these sort of series, and this happens in a lot of other games too, the guy can really start to make a comeback. Like if you win that first game, now it's essentially 1-1, first to three wins. Then you're really back in it. But if you lose that first game, it becomes very, very difficult being down 0-2. But it's still doable. It's not to say that it's impossible. Of course, it's just you need to win three straight, but that can happen. But yeah, so let's get into it. I think you can see my mouse. I can't. I was looking for like an annotation tool, and I thought that'd be kind of cool, but that shit is fucking hard to find. So whatever. Not gonna worry about it. So let's go through my army first, and then once the battle starts, we can look at the Sarah's army. I have a Cav Rush army, and I did take this against the Sarah in our last series as well, but only in the final game. I didn't really show my hand too much, but I had lost the game before, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to win the game with this. But now he should probably be expecting this. So the army is 4 Hippias Lancers. See them on the flanks here. 2 Massilian Cav up in the center. 2 more Massilian Cav on the flanks with 3 Tarentines. Which is the maximum allowed. 6 melee units, so I have 4 Axe Warriors, 1 Thorax Sword, and a Celtic Warrior in reserve with 3 Levy Freemen up front. So you're getting pretty decent value. One of the Axe Warriors also has 2 Chevrons, so it'll be pretty good. The Thorax Sword, is good. The other Axe Warrior is pretty decent. The Celtic Warrior, okay. Of course, Epirus. Gonna have those Samnite Warriors, which none of my infantry can really contest. So it's gonna be on my Cav to make a big impact. And the 4 Hippias Lancers especially are important to deal with his Thessalians. The Levy Freemen are just kind of fodder. And the Tarentines, with the support of these Massilian Cav, are looking to just encircle him and press him inwards. And that's sort of the base strategy, but we'll talk more about that as we get right into this. All right, so yeah, let's just hit start here. Let's go ahead so I can skip, which is nice. So you can see here I'm looking at his army, just trying to figure out what it all is. But I can tell you from experience now, he has 4 Thessalian Cav. He has 1, I think it's an Italian Cav. It might be a citizen as well. His general is a like royal. So he has 5 shot cap to my 4. The Thessalians, though, only being heavy against the very heavy Hippias Lancers, can't really stand up to them. They are better for the cost. They cost 250 less, essentially. So for your cost, you're getting a lot more. Actually, they cost like almost more than that. They cost more like 320 more. Or less, sorry. So for your bang for your buck, Thessalian's much better, but, my cab is actually just straight up will win. Will be ones. He does have 3 militia hoplites here on the flanks. Let me just make sure this is recording. Okay. He has 3 Tarentines, and he has the standard Epirite infantry line of 3 Samnites and 3 Italian swords. And he has a slinger, and he also has a Rhodian. And I didn't really realize this. You can see as I kind of go through everything. I thought it was just 2 slingers. Makes the most sense. He has a lot of other expensive units, but no, he can actually fit a Rhodian in there. But that's not too bad. The way I see it is, any infantry that he has, or any slingers, sorry, that he has are kind of useless in this matchup unless they can survive all the way. I mean, he has a lot of cav. He actually almost has as much cav as me. I have 8 plus 3, 3 Tarentines. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus the 3 Tarentines. So he's only short 2 cav on me, and his cav is generally of better quality because besides um, the Hippias Lancers, he has 5 to 4 shot cav, and the Massilian cav are worse than his shot cav and his Italian. If it's a citizen though, then I guess it's actually worse. I kind of just forget. And so the kind of goal or the attack is kind of still the same. Like, the slingers don't factor into too much. They can do some damage, but, you know, we're going to get into a melee fight, and my Cav's going to try to just make that melee fight in my favor by getting good charges. Right now we're skirmishing. Asseror is also bringing out these militia hoplites very far, and that's sort of a good tactic here because it's just pushing me back, not allowing me to get a good surround going. Not that I really could, it's 3v3, but he doesn't really want to trade missile fire on my Tarantines because I have more Cav. His Tarantines' best target is my Cav, not my Tarantines. My Tarantines are, you know, are trying to shoot his Tarantines, and we trade a lot of damage, and we trade ammo and men. Now my Cav is just all that much stronger. He wants to just chill and let my Tarantines just kind of do nothing. His Tarantines do nothing, but when the main battle starts, now his Tarantines will lock the flanks a lot harder because they still have ammo to shoot my Cav. So let's start moving forward here. This is all kind of like whatever. We're just skirmishing. It's the start of a CoN final. You kind of just want to play it safe. And you can see the ammo in the bottom corner here. It's a little hard to see, but I haven't used almost any ammo. A little bit. He's probably used a little bit. There's a bunch of hoplite here. I'm trying to work out a way to get around it because I don't want to be so defensive here. I don't want this militia hoplite to give him so much space. You can see he's actually moving over to this side where he thinks he has more space because this militia hoplite is locking down the flank, and he knows my plan is to go around the flank. So this is a really good move. I can charge it directly, but like I'm gonna get shot by the Tarantines. Not really a good move. And you know, all I have is a Massilian cab on the flank. The Massilian cab is not gonna do shit. Militia hoplite really. But anyway, you know, I still realize, like, I can still push it out by just moving my army over here and potentially just killing it. So I'm just going to rotate this way as well. And my plan is to rotate on the left side here because I have my Celtic warrior here, which is a little bit of extra melee power to shove this left side flank. In general, we're both, like, pretty equally mobile. You know, maybe I'm slightly more mobile. Obviously, I have more cav, but, you know, it's not a big deal because he has so much cav. His cav is spread across his line. It's going to be hard for me to really outmaneuver him too much. He's just pretty condensed here, and now he feels the pressure of my my army just coming at this push off blade, so he's going to retreat and just give up the space a little bit. So I think this is kind of a win for me. I push him out of this area. It's going to allow me to wrap on the flank. This Celtic warrior, for example, can take down this militia hoplite. So now that we're getting closer to the fight, let's sort of like understand how this fight is going to go. These Lady Freemen are just going to be kind of fodder, prevent YOLO charges. I don't really want to go frontal charges everywhere because I can't really accept the infantry fight. I want to be more about going around the flank. And so my cav, my lancers especially, need to be sort of helping that flank attack, which means they won't be able to defend from frontal attacks. So these Levy Freemen are just gonna, you know, prevent hit or fucking Thessalians from coming directly into my army and just smashing the Axe Warriors. The Axe Warriors really don't want to take a charge. Obviously, you know, neither do the Thorax or the Celtic. No infantry really want to take a charge, but the Axe Warriors, especially if they're gonna do anything in this battle, are gonna have to get in clean. And then if I can get around the flank, then I can start, you know, pressuring these Sand Knights. The Sand Knights are the key units in this battle because they really can just tank an infantry fight. They can just last forever unless they get taken out by, like, you know, combined arms approaches. And they can really just destroy my infantry line. So I do need to deal with them. And this Sand Knight being on the flank here is, like, perfect for me. If his line was opposite, it was an Italian sword on the flank, I mean, it would still be fine. That's, you know, an easier kill potentially. But it's easier. It's nice that I get to go at the Sand Knight directly. Whereas if the Sand Knights are kind of in the center, you know, it's harder to get to them. But of course, the Italian swords are also just easier to kill, so there's benefits to both. This militia hoplites, I can just tie them down. I don't really care about them too much as long as they don't just like, you know, block me from attacking. Which is kind of what they're doing right now. Here, you know, there could be a charge coming in, so I'm ready to deal with that. So I just give that attack order. That way I don't have to migrate. You know, it's like if he goes for this charge, you know, the Leatherframe aren't going to do much else besides kill Cav if he charges them. So I'm just going to give that attack order and be prepared in that instance. We're both kind of just walking to the left side of the battlefield away from my side. This militia hoplite's still locking down that flank. I don't really want to, you know, go around all the way. It's too far. It'll give him too much time to counterattack on the other side or just break my infantry line. I kind of have to kill it, so I'm trying to see how I can do that right now. We're still just skirmishing here. I'm trying to, now that militia hotblade's not in the way, I'm trying to skirmish a bit more, because again, I want to waste his ammo. But he's doing a good job of avoiding that. Here I get a javelin volley on the militia hotblade. I'm like, okay, I'll just take that javelin volley, do some damage. He wastes a javelin volley on my Levy Free. I mean, he gets, you know, a good amount of kills on it, to be fair. Almost 31 kills, so that's pretty decent, actually. Well, some of those are actually probably sleeping kills. But here, you can see I didn't actually javelin this unit. And that's a big thing here, because if I waste that javelin volley, this Cav unit is getting a clean charge, and I'm not getting a javelin volley. Here, now that I didn't waste it, of course it's only 90 men, not the 120, so not optimal, but I'm still gonna get that charge. Here our Cav kind of got kind of close together, but this Cav, you know, nothing, even if we contact here, it's not gonna be like, whatever, I just run away. We're trading some javelins. Actually, it kind of. So I get this nice javelin volley here, but for some reason these guys didn't run away, so this is a little bit suboptimal for me. Um, but at the same time, the good thing is you can see I'm gonna crash into this. Let's go back a little bit here. You can just rewatch. This is a good thing about this. You can just rewatch stuff. So again, he javelins me here, and now you can see when his cab is so far away, and this guy, crucially, just used a javelin volley on my Levy Freeman, that's an instant, obvious target to go for with my cav, because it's going to not be able to throw a javelin volley. Now, these units coming in reserve might be able to, but still, it's not going to be as clean as if it was a direct volley, because these guys are going to, this Italian sword is going to be in the way of his units here. So that's why you can just take this charge for free, and now this unit is pretty much going to be a goner. And again, now I save this ammo, and I go after this cav. But I expected my guys to run away a lot more clean here, and they did not do that. Here I give a weird attack order like through the militia hoplite. This is not a good move. But yeah, I just avoid it. But of course they don't have javelins, so it's like whatever. Even if I'm in combat here, not really the worst thing in the world. Here my Larry Freeman also do a nice job tying down these Samnites, getting me a potential free charge on these units. And of course here I'm just trying to run away, but I've actually already created a pretty good fight. Even though my Terrantines are going to take a little bit of losses, you can see they're still pretty healthy. Not optimal to lose them early on in the battle though. But now his Thessalian has taken a javelin volley from my Levy Freeman, and I have my Massilian Coplates, or Cav, sorry, and these Hippias Lancers potentially able to collapse on this Thessalian. Once they use their charge, they're pretty shite in actual melee, so this is actually kind of good. I get away pretty clean with my Hippias Lancer, just own that Italian sword. It does get away, but nothing so bad. And you can see my Terrantines get out pretty cleanly, actually. His general, though, makes a nice move here. I just charged the Italian sword, but he actually was able to get out and get his general into my axe warrior, so that's not good for me. Because again, I don't want my axes taking those charges. These militia hoplites, I'm just trying to ignore them because they don't really do anything in melee, but they're just like, annoying for my cav. This is a bit of a roadblock set up by Asseror. They're in phalanx, so they have really nice mass. And that high mass means that charges are not going to be super effective against them. So you can see I'm just trying to avoid them. Here I'm going to get a nice charge with my Massilian cav. Not the most impactful, and it's also kind of through the back of my own men, but we'll take it. Here again, I don't want to charge the Thessalian with my Massilian cav, so try to run away there. Kind of get blocked though, but at least I'm getting another javelin volley, and if I trade Massilian cav for for Thessalian, sorry, that's a really good trade for me. And if he uses his charge on Massilian cav and I come in with my Lancer and all these javelins, pretty cleanly gonna win that fight. So it's still 53 men, so pretty okay. So I got into a pretty decent fight here in the center. At least, the Samnite didn't get a good charge, so my Thorax Sword will still lose, but it'll lose slowly. Um, Here I'm like not really fighting on the right side. I'm trying to overrun the left side. Here this Axe Warrior is just gonna take out this Militia Hoplite. This Celtic Warrior can support in the center, but this Axe Warrior in the center here, you can see he's already down to 82 men. Everything else very, very healthy, but these, yeah, Axe Warrior down to 82 because of the charge from the General, and it's a Sam Knight here, so this is not really good. I didn't get that clean fight into the Sam Knight, but I am trading out a lot of Cav, for this, which is good. Now I'm potentially going to get an attack order here. I try to retreat my Axe Warrior, but I don't get a good job on volley, so this is kind of bad. A little overextended on this link, I would say. Because again, my cab is not close enough to countercharge. I really, like, optimally would have this Levy Freeman throw a javelin and just charge my Lancer in there, and that Thessalian would probably take a lot of damage there. So not really a great start in terms of the infantry department. He's doing a good job of baiting out my positioning and getting some good charges. And I don't really want to fight here, but now it's sort of forcing me to fight, right? Because he's getting into my infantry. Here I'm going to get a nice charge into his general. With my Celtic Warrior, and this is nice. Malaria Freeman doing so much work on the flank here, helping support these fights. Here again, nice engagement for me because I get the Thessalian charged by my Lancer with infantry support. He does have some infantry support as well. You can see how much cab I can bring over to this side almost immediately, and that's that mobility of having so much cab on the field. On this flank, I'm just trying to stalemate, but again, that Axor gets charged in the back. It is 106 men, it's red morale, but it's 106 men, so it's not the worst, but it is going to start to drop pretty quickly if I can't cycle it out. Militia Hoplite just doing weird things on the flank here, so it's gonna die. But that's fine, obviously, even for a Sarah, that's like fine, it's not really a big deal. 105 on this Axeman, so yeah, the Axeman actually survives that charge like pretty decently. The Salians, again, losing a lot of men to get these infantry fights, and that's a bit risky, I would say, because I have so much cav. You can see my cav health, especially my Lancers, is pretty good overall, whereas he's dropping a lot of Thessalian numbers already, and his general. Most of these Thessalians have seen combat. The citizen cav or Italian cav or whatever, it doesn't really matter too much. But when his Shock Cav are losing numbers, that's going to make the end game very hard. So it's always a balance with the Cav. Do you use them early to get an infantry advantage, but lose men? Or do you wait and try to save them for the late game? And I'm kind of doing the latter, and he's kind of doing the former at the moment. Here, this Light Freeman is just going to sacrifice itself to help my Massilian Cav get out of there. You can see now those Thessalians were both kind of shooting into this blob, but this blob favors me because there's 2 Thessalians in there. Yes, I might lose 1 Hippias Lancer, but it's still at 28 men. You can see it's still at half strength. He's shooting into the blob. I'm going to get more kills because I have better health and better armor on my Cav compared to the Thessalians. So this is a good trade for me, and this one Massilian Cav is going to do a lot of work in there. Massilian Cav are kind of weak to armor, in terms of armor, so they are weak to missiles, but not a huge deal. Again, I want to trade these cav down as much as possible because I have more cav to use. And now 2 more lancers coming around the flank here. So all 4 of my lancers are now on the left side of the battle, and that's where his general is. That's where most of my infantry is. So this is a good place to be. Um, but it does leave my right side a bit weak, and you can see here I have 1 Massilian cav just kind of chilling in reserve. It can kind of counter some of this. I try to back out with this Axe Warrior now. I know this one on the far side, it's going to lose to these combined, but there's no reason to lose both of these units, right? Like, yeah, they'll get some more kills, but I want to keep some infantry for the end game so they can support my cav advantage. So yeah, just a blob in the center here. Again, Thorax Sword not dying super fast, which is huge for me because it's locking down my center. My Lancer gets a nice charge, kills off that Italian sword, and you can see this fight, very nice for me. He's trying to go shoot my my general there, but that's fine. Getting out of there pretty easily. And yeah, you can see again. Now I move this Lancer back into the center because I can see he's a little bit isolated in the center. He doesn't have any cav, so I can get some free charges over on his infantry fight. And again, these are going to be, he's not going to get javelins on them, so it's going to be very nice for me. And that's a huge advantage. But one thing that he has done well is kept a lot of reserves. Yes, his cav is not the healthiest, but his slingers have been shooting this whole game, and at this rate, they are actually starting to have an impact. Now, the good thing is his Rhodians and even his Iron Slinger are kind of far from my cav, so they're not really shooting cav at the moment. They're probably just getting some shots on infantry. I can kind of afford that. Here my Celtic is going to get cycled out here and can recharge this fight as well. And now I have broken through on the left side. This, Militia Hoplite, last survivor, this, Italian sword probably quite low. He's kind of breaking through on the right, I'm kind of breaking through on the left, but again, this always is going to continue to favor me because I just have more cav, so I'm going to move faster. I can take advantage of this breakthrough a lot faster than he can. And getting that nice recharge with this Lancer was pretty big here as well. And the Celtic Warrior is in support. I wasn't able to, I actually luckily get a block here on his cav, just some like infantry models, and now my melee cav can come in there and actually do a number here. Can pull off this cav. I could probably pull out one of these 2 infantry units as well to just cycle and keep in reserve because reserve infantry units are super important to aid cav fights. When a cav fight goes down, you want to be the first one to bring infantry into that fight. It allows your cav to escape for free, and it also allows you to just do more damage to the cav. Now I'm using my Serentines. It's just a screen for his Serentines again. I don't really care if he shoots them. I have more cav, so it's fine. Now I'm going to push his Terrantines back with my cav and go after his rear lines here. Again, the infantry fight, it's not decisively losing right now, so I'm fine to just keep doing that and go after his slingers. They'll force, he doesn't have any infantry in reserve right now. He could probably pull out from here maybe a little bit. That's just like only reserves. So it's going to be hard for him to defend his slingers, and any cav fight will be in my favor. I just have more units in the area, more cav units. So we're just going to pull back. I'm baiting out a charge on my Lancers. I don't want to use my Lancers. And now I actually catch his Tarantines here. Because my general, Massilian Cav general, is in support, so I can go kill these guys. And that would be a huge blow to his game. So yeah, get into his guys. He's going to realize it, though, and get out. So, not the worst thing, but again, they kind of get stuck. But kind of the same thing that happened to me. But now I'm in full attack mode, right? Like, my infantry's not going to hold on forever. Axe Warrior routing over here. You can see the infantry numbers are pretty low. Thorax Sword pretty healthy. Axe Warrior pretty healthy. But things are going kind of badly in the infantry department, as they kind of should. But I also have this full Axe Warrior here, and that's a huge unit to have because, I killed a militia hoplite whenever we take any losses. But that one Axe Warrior, again, I want some infantry alive in the late game, so we'll see how I can use that, because it's not under any threat, right? The rest of my infantry, probably gonna die. But this guy's pretty safe, so that's nice to have. Now he tries to go after my general. Again, my general really shouldn't take charges, so I bait out the charge nicely. Here I try to go for like this gap and maybe recharge this unit, but that was never going to work. There's just too much shit here. It just blocks my charge. My Celtic Warrior is just going to send it. Again, infantry support in cav fights is huge. Now, the timing is, it just ran through this gap, but even if he charges the Celtic Warrior and I get a counter charge, that's like the second best thing. The most optimal thing would be Lancer charges the Thessalian and Celtic comes in support, but if he wastes his charge on the Celtic Warrior, I get like some javelins, and, I can live with that. So now I'm going to just attack. Gotta go after his general. His general's not super healthy. Remember, he took damage in the early game. My Axor just cleaning up lost units here. Lancer gonna get through. I should have taken a better angle with this unit, just like walk through a little bit cleaner, because he's gonna lose a lot of men doing that. Celtic Warrior, I say, okay, you know what? I think I have enough cav to actually win this, so I'm gonna try to save my Celtic Warrior, because if I keep running this way, these guys are just gonna intercept it. I don't want him to get charged, so I'm kind of like waiting to group up for my final attack on him. And then now I say, okay, wait, I'm not in any sort of position to actually do this right now. He has like 4 cav here. All my cav are still kind of cleaning up targets. But look how much cav I have, right? Like, this is just a pure fact of numbers. I started with more cav, I'm ending with more cav. We traded cav pretty cleanly. I have a full Lancer, my general's full, this Massilian cav is full. That's 3 full cav units plus some Tarentines. Both our Tarentines have taken some damage, but you can see, this cav is going to die. It's caught in, I have lots of infantry support here. This guy's dead. That's going to leave him with his Tarentines and 2 kind of depleted units. So I'm going to have a big cav advantage, multiple units worth of advantage. I also have some depleted cav units as well. Here I take this charge, not really the most well-advised thing to do there. But it does pull out his Thessalian from being able to defend. And now I'm just going to go for his slingers, because the slingers are going to start to do a lot of damage to my depleted cav. So I'm just going to take this charge here, send it into him. And, you know, whatever he can countercharge with his general, I know I'm going to get the charge there, so I just take it. And now I'm just going to start going after his guys completely. You can see these infantry going to be too slow to really do too much in the fight. This Tarentine is just being sacrificed. And again, it's okay. I lose this small shock cav unit, this small Thessalian, but that's completely fine if I'm going to, you know, get this kill. And now I just have all these units. There's that full Massilian cav that's in the back here. And these small ones that can go kill the slingers. So I'm totally fine with that. Here you can see, this was a huge moment in the game. Instead of going for this fight, I know that my cav is going to be occupied in the near future killing slingers. So there's no reason to take this fight. This fight, I will just lose the full Axe Warrior. But if I wait and just run away, I'm faster. There's no reason not to. I can even sacrifice the Levy Freeman to slow him down. Then when this back fight is over, he's going to have some infantry left. If I lose this unit, it's just going to be my cav against his infantry. It's losable, for sure. Even like he can just like sacrifice his slingers and get his cav to help out his infantry. That's not really a great fight to take, so I'm just going to run away and keep that full Axe Warrior that's going to have good stamina if I just rest it somewhere over here for that end game situation where that full infantry unit will be super helpful. So again, tie down the unit and then go for the slingers. Now again, he's just run out of cav. You can see even if he blocks me, I have 2 more cav coming, plus that Massilian cav, plus these units. Like, there's tons of units here, so I don't even need to send all my units to kill the slingers at this point. It's pretty much a done deal. It does get a nice javelin volley, but my unit is so spread out, my general unit there. That's not going to be a problem. And he also used his general's charge on my Tarentine, which is fine, like kills the Tarentine, but now my general, which is much better in melee combat, is going to get in there and just kill off his general. This, this Lancer is going to kill only infantry support in the area. And you can see as soon as I target it, I would like keep running through, pull through, but knocked over the unit and pull through, and kill that Tarentine on the charge. My general, a bit in dire straits here, but I can't retreat him yet. I can't retreat him yet because I don't have enough support here. Yes, there's technically a Tarentine there, but it's very few models. So if I run away, a lot of my Massilian cav is going to die. I just don't want my general to die right now. It's not the worst thing in the world if he dies, because none of my units are actually in combat, and these guys are all going to win their combat, so it's not the worst thing in the world. But, better safe than sorry. Better to stay in combat here. He charged me with a small Thessalian cav. It shouldn't be too bad, especially with my Tarentine there to, like, kind of block some of the attacks. But this Massilian cav is kind of out of place. It probably should have gone around the backside here and just helped commit for slingers. But it's a bit of a mistake, but, in a second here, the other Massilian cav are going to get in and allow my general to retreat. So now I can just run away. Maybe I run away a little early, trying to just make sure, but the other Massilian cav is going to make sure I don't really call it too bad. But the general is down to 30 men, so 30 men, you shouldn't really expect your general to die with half the unit remaining. It can happen, but that's a pretty safe number. Here I'm just going to go attack these infantry with my cav. My big full Lancer just killed that Tarentine pretty quickly. It's gonna go kill the Rhodian. And here's actually where I noticed it's a Rhodian because of the quick reload. But yeah, my cav here, it's just like these guys are tired. My cav is probably pretty fresh. And so I'm just gonna go do some impact damage on these tired units. And that's working out pretty well. My general's gonna bail. I'm trying to save some of my other cav now. These guys are just slowing down his main line, right? I want to slow down these guys from supporting this fight, so I just send my weak cav units in there just to block. And this fight's gonna end before he can really support it with his infantry. And yeah, so things are looking pretty good. So now we just kind of chill, and everything's kind of routing here, but this big 50-man Lancer unit just charge him in the back, so it's gonna do the damage. I'd lose that fight with uh, the Tarentines, but like who cares? I'm just sending in some shitty cav units now.
Our men flee the field of battle.
And
this is a shameful
yeah, so
defeat.
now of course these militia hoplites are only now getting into the fight, supporting his cap. But these guys, I could run away from these units. There's like we'll see how many men are in the unit. It's like, yeah, 7 men, right? So I could just run away here, and they're very tired. Choose not to though. Choose to route it. But it doesn't route, so I'm like, okay, this is dumb. Should route. Now I'm losing like additional men to the melee combat. You can see they're going down a little bit. And now I'm like, okay, you're probably done. I need to get out of there. He actually tries to save his unit as well, but no. So I did lose another, probably like 7 or 8 men to that. But it's fine. I second win this unit. Now that his general's dead, I'm going to have a stamina advantage. He's not going to be able to second win anything. My only infantry unit is fully fresh, and there's no reason to just wait. His general is dead, you can see. Now I'm just trying to go for routes on these guys while I can. He might have Pila, but if he uses the Pila on this cav instead of my Lancer, it's not a good move. Get a whack charge there, so I'm like, whatever, let's just wait. And yeah, there's no reason to delay at this point. My Lancer is probably pretty tired, but the infantry being fresh is the biggest thing. Because yes, this Lancer could be as tired as you want, but it's gonna do impact damage no matter what. No matter what, it's maybe it's slightly less because the speed will be slower, but like it's pretty significant still. Whereas if I let him rest, his morale will be better, and my infantry will perform relatively worse. Because right now I'm gonna get as good of an infantry fight as possible. Because my guy's fresh and they're all very tired. I'm still gonna do decent cav damage. So there's no point in delaying, and I'm pretty sure this is winning. Like, the balance of power actually doesn't like me here, but I have a lot of cav, and all his infantry is going to be, A, very easy to route, especially the Italian swords. There's 2 militia hoplites, which are actually the biggest units there, so he really doesn't have that much good infantry, and the militia hoplites will just route. And this axe warrior is full. It has a javelin volley as well, so I can use that to deplete even further some of these guys, and it's not going to let him form up here. So I'm going to use this cav to kind of attack and block Pila. So I just stand it in there. You can see he's just nice bracing, good formation there. So the cav charge didn't really do that much, but it just kind of disrupts him. Maybe it was a bit early, honestly. But now another Lancer charge. So now, like, here we go. So I block the Pila. He could have technically probably turned around and Pila this unit, but again, if he has a Pila, he's going to get it off anyway, so I might as well charge. Now it's going to make his models turn and face this unit, so they're going to get Javelin in the back by my Axe Warrior. Maybe take some friendly fire there as well. Down to 36, so I lost like 5 men there. But it's just such a good engagement here. My other Lancer, you can see the routing one here. Just YOLO charge in as well, just to block as many models from getting a charge as possible. My Axe Warrior gets a very clean charge here. It's enveloping all these units, like it's fighting all of them at once. He's not being able to surround. Not that he really could surround anyway, because the isolated units would just die to my Kev. And now I'm just going to sit here my general. I'm going to just run him away. I should battle rhythm my Axe Warrior there, actually. But I'm like pretty confident this is winning. I just wanted to make sure he didn't have like a Pila that he randomly kills my general or something. But you can see the morale's just not going to cut it for his guys. They're still fighting though, and there we go. Battle rhythm is popped. Just trying to form a defensive kind of like wall here. I get second win in like 5 seconds, so I got the second win my Axe Warrior, and I'm also gonna be able to second win my my Lancer in a second here. I was looking at the fatigue. Oh, it's exhausted. I should win that. There we go. Nice. And you can see they instantly just start moving a little bit faster there as well. Now I have both my key units, my Lancer and my Axe, fighting at full strength, and they will just clean this up easily. But again, imagine if this Axe Warrior wasn't alive. This fight becomes very, very dicey. If I can break it, probably possible to break it, but they got 100 kills. They had 120 kills before this fight. They already got 100 kills in that melee, so a lot of them, yes, are on militia hoplites, but can you really kill that with only cav? I'm not actually quite so sure, because the militia hoplites being nice in phalanx there, and the Samnites generally just being tanky. So yeah, maybe it's unclear if that was actually winning if I don't save the Axe Warrior. Of course, the Axe Warrior would have gotten some good kills, even against, if I kept it in melee early and didn't run it away, but probably wouldn't gotten as many ideal kills as this, right? This Axe Warrior performs like perfectly, whereas that one would have been, it still would have been probably a little bit fresher, but it wasn't fresh. The enemy units were less tired, the morale was not as bad. Why commit there, right? Why commit when you can just run away? And I knew I had an end game where I could win with the cav and the infantry combined. A very close game for the first game, but a good one. If the stats come up. Oh, nope. Oh, yep. Right at the end. There we go. So if we look at the stats here, that one axe where you can see the rest of my infantry like doing almost nothing, to be honest. But a lot of that is because a lot of the kills are coming in beforehand from my cav, so all they have to do is kind of like clean up. Celtic Warrior doing good. These guys had 2 chevrons to start with, so not that good. But yeah, my axes, I kind of let them die a little too easily. Levy Freeman kills don't matter. 0 kills a bit sad. Maybe they didn't get a javelin volley when they probably should have. Um, Tarentines, compared to his Tarentines, pretty equal. 80 was the biggest, but my other 2 did kind of shit. His other 2 did kind of bully, but better. I mean, that's a what, 150 kills more or less. Whereas I was at like 130. So yeah, slightly better from his Tarentines. But again, those kills are sort of irrelevant. It really depends how much you can shoot my cav. So, it kind of depends. So very close. First game, you can see his infantry doing a lot better, but his cav not so hot. Whereas my cav, quite decent on a few of the units. Like, some of them are just gonna do badly because they're the guys that go in first and die, but the other ones do quite well. And you can see kills and losses very very close. I don't know how many he deployed. Maybe it's 1800 probably. What that number is. So I deployed slightly less, kills slightly more. So very very close overall. And Rodian and Larry Slinger not doing too hot. Again, they're kind of far from the battle. I feel like so. They didn't really get optimal shots on Cav. They would really do a lot of damage on depleted Cav in the late game, but I kind of pushed the slingers back far enough where I could just like kill some of his Cav and then rush the slingers down without them getting too many shots, which is optimal. So it was a citizen Cav, by the way, in the end as well. Anyway, yep, that's the first battle. Let's move on to the second battle here. This one. Right, so I think we take the same armies here. I certainly have the same army. This time I put my double chevron axe warrior on the left flank, the one that's gonna have more success. Not why waste it on the flank that's gonna die. Yeah, I don't think there's too much difference here. Let's just skip in. Oh no, there is a difference actually. My bad. Key difference. He's dropped his Rhodians. He's dropped all of his missiles actually. He has no missiles. Now let's see what his army is. He's got the 3 Samnites, the 3 Italian swords, normal stuff. Militia hoplites. 1, 2, 3. 4 militia hoplites. But now you can see he also has melee cav on the flank. So he has citizen cav, 2 of them, plus the 4th Thessalians and the 1 like real cav and the 3 Tarentine. So he has 7 cav and I have 8. So he only has 1 less cav than me. He has a much stronger infantry force. He has 4 militia hoplites, which are just annoying. You can see how much time they can buy in the center of his army. But at the same time, my shock cav is a lot better, and it's going to be um, kind of unclear who's really better. I think this army was the best army that he could take. This is the army that I kind of expected. Um, but we'll see. Okay. So yeah, again, he's doing the same thing. He's putting his militia hoplites on the flank. I'm just kind of away. I actually choose to shoot his militia hoplites a little bit here because they'll make them easier to kill later. And I know my javelins are not super valuable, to be honest. So this game starts kind of with, again, just the same thing, skirmishing on the flanks. But I was like, you know what? I can use this Levy Freeman that I pull out to the flank, and I can use my Tarentines to maybe deplete this militia hoplite and make it easier to run through this flank. So I don't want to have to deal with that militia hoplite for as long. But he's also not making it easy to do that. So here I just run in and I just like dive on the fucking militia hoplite. It's like all frontal shots. They have high armor. It's like not really optimal by any means. But it's gonna be hard for me to use my javelins on his cav. As long as I save some ammo, it's fine. I'm not gonna get 7 volleys on his cav because he's gonna have so much shit to screen them with that I'm happy to use this ammo if I can create an advantage for myself. And we walk this way. Also good to walk to the left here because there's a hill. And let me go back slowly. There's a hill here and there's a hill here. If I walk to the left, I can always back up onto my hill and it also avoids fighting on his hill. Kind of a logical decision. You can see I brought my Levy Freeman out to the flanks here. So I only have 1 Levy Freeman in the center. Not sure about that, to be honest. But it's early stages, like they can always retreat back to the armies. Fine. But like this guy's kind of far out there. Missing some shots on the cav. Here I'm gonna go for a javelin volley. But now I see his cav coming over, so now he's like taking a fight over here, which is like kind of weird because again I still have more mobility than he does. And my shot cav is better, so like isolated fights where he doesn't have a lot of javelins, not really the best place for him to be, I guess. I run away though because he does have current numerical superiority there. And again, these are Citizen Cavs, so they're going to lose hard to the Massilian Cav. Like, Massilian Cav are beasts against Citizen Cav because they have, yes, low armor, but they have 15 bonus versus large and way better melee stats. Here, he decides to go for this, like, attack, and using Thessalian, it's risky. Like, there's a chance I don't get Javelin Volley, but I'm keeping uh, my Tarentines right behind, so, like, he's going to get Javelined pretty hard here. But some of them are used up on the Militia Hot Blades. I still get a good volley there, right? So that's going to do some good damage. I don't think my Levy Freeman. Look how little javelins they get. So maybe Asseror realizes like the timing is actually decent for him. Here we're going to take another fight on the flank. He's probably counting on his Tarentines to be able to just shoot my Massilian Cav. And of course the Citizen Cav actually have good defense against missiles. Massilian Cav not so much. So maybe he can balance that fight out. But yeah, best case scenario, this is a trade, I think. Like best case. So not sure. Not sure about that one. Now I'm just gonna use my turn. I know he's shooting other things. He's not shooting my cow. I'm
Men
just
are
gonna
waiting.
run it at his guys. I'm getting some shots, force him back. Now he can't shoot my Massilian cow anymore. And my Massilian cow is gonna start to win this fight pretty easily. I lose this Levy Freeman, but like, am I really miffed about that? Probably not. He's even chasing me a little bit here, so getting a little bit kind of wild. I split this gap. I'm like, fuck it, I'm just sending it. This is very risky. This was very, very risky move. Because there's units behind me here that can cause a problem. But it's a free potential charge on a Samnite. It'll draw this unit in. You can see I'm going to have enough units that can get around the flank here. So my Celtic can get around the flank, or my Axe Warrior can get around the flank. And these units are not in a great position. It's close timing here, very close timing. But I have another Lancer in support. And look, all these units seem like pretty free potential YOLO charge targets. So it's a bit risky to go for this, especially if it gets Javelin Volley. So we'll see. Even runs away, so this is good micro. But now he actually tries to charge me in the back with this alien, but he actually misses the charge. It's kind of weird. This is like a very weird situation. And do I get a charge? Oh, but I don't get a charge. So actually, at the last second, the charge gets blocked. And I probably should have been like giving another attack order just in case. But now this unit, do they get a charge? Do they get a charge? What is that? But you can see, like right here, the Massilian Cav dominating. So this is really bad. They're gonna get javelin volleyed. They're gonna lose a lot of men, and this is not great. Over here, this other Lancer, again, it's a free YOLO charge on a Sam Knight, so you kind of have to take it, but it's sort of dangerous because now I'm kind of doing what Asera did last game. I'm sacrificing a lot of Cav men early on to try to help my infantry cause. But I don't even have an infantry advantage, so this is a bit risky to do, but it's going to mean that my infantry will last a lot longer and take a lot less
One of our
damage in the
units
fight.
has used all its
Now
ammunition.
this is my Cav, my Lancer gets out pretty cleanly with only 45 men, so it lost 15 men, but given the situation, it loses 20 men actually. So 20 men, not the best, but it's gonna at least kind of survive. I just run away now, so it could be worse. His general, though, makes like a really bonehead mistake here, charging into my Celtic Warrior. Yes, most of his unit is dying, the Militia Hoplite, so it's like he can still get some damage, but I have so much support, and I say like, okay, you know what I should do here is just send it into his general, get some kills on that unit early on. My Massilian Cav does end up trading because he shot it a lot, so not the worst trade for him really. But again, I have more Cav, so trading our melee Cav off is not like the worst thing for me either. So I gang up on his general here, I just like YOLO charge him with like a
Our
billion
men
units.
flee the
I bail my
field of
general there because of the
battle.
other
Our
Cav, but
general
he
is
didn't
under
get a good
attack.
charge with that Thessalian. So bad charge for bad charge, kind of. My Thorax swords are in this fight, so his general gets out, but he's gonna lose a lot of men. So that was a big mistake for him, just committing a little bit too far. Getting out with. I want to see if I hover over it. No, not for long enough, huh? Unfortunate. But now you can see, like, I'm pretty much all in here. Like, one, two, three, four out of my 6 melee units are all over here. I only have the 2 units over here. So I'm pretty hard committed here, but I'm also, like, outnumbering him. He has 2 of his 6 out as well, but it's the Sand Knight that's missing, so it's pretty valuable. And I have, like, Levy Freeman and a lot of my cat over here. So I'm pretty much sold into this fight. Here it goes after that. This is a bad move. Like, yeah, he gets the charge into my Tarentines, but now his charge didn't go into my Massilian Cav, so my Massilian Cav is going to kill another of his uh, Thessalians. Get another charge into that Thessalian. So all of a sudden, like, yes, he can push me out for now, but 2 depleted Thessalians charging into 1 Massilian Cav, not great. My general goes into support. Now it's just a fuckfest. I waste my Javelin Volley on the sword there, so a lot of action going down. He's getting some good charges, but he's also wasting a lot of Cav, so I kind of maybe overcommitted a little bit. I Cav, plus I can get that 1 charge, which is pretty bad. But it's still potentially now getting evened out by some of his mistakes as well. A bit of a messy game, but those 2 Massilian Cav, my Jet and the other one, are going to clean up his flank on the left side here. His general can't be healthy at this point. He is getting out though. Now I'm just chasing him because I won this flank. Like, decisively, I'm winning this flank. And now I get my last Lancer, or one of my, I have two Lancers that are full. One of them is going to commit around this flank. And you can see he's like a really bunched up around his general. So that one mistake with general is causing him a lot of problems because now he's not really committed. And this guy is a free kill this Sam Knight. I can just recharge it into Oblivion. I've lost some Terrentides, but actually, they're pretty healthy. And over
One
here,
of
we're
our
both
units
kind of,
is
you know, we're
involved.
kind of like equal here. We have a infantry unit, like one melee unit, kind of just like staring at each other. That's not terrible. This Lancer's kind of just waiting for something to open up. This Lancer, these guys are going to send it around this flank. But I don't want to overcommit to this flank right now because there's potential for things to open up here too. Because my Axe Warrior here is actually better than his Italian sword right here. So I actually have potential to win this flank too and then collapse on his center. So
It's
that's
ammunition.
something that I'm going to look for here. I'm getting forward there. Here I just use my Terrantines as like a recharge potential there. They will do good impact damage. They're kind of tired though. Just charge one in, and now I'm going to pull this guy out because I want his Terrantines to shoot this unit and not be able to get to my expensive unit. So we're going to go forward here. He's kind of committed with his cav. Here, again, not the best. Okay, it ends up being okay, but no. You can see here, like, this timing is terrible for me. Like, if I get the charge into his cav, sure, but he's going to javelin me. He's on militia hoplite and support. My guy's kind of far back. And actually what you'll see is I don't actually get a charge here. They charge animation and then stop and then just get absolutely obliterated. Like lose 15 men immediately and I don't get a charge. So this is really bad. And this should be like this looks like pretty much game over. Like I've lost too many of my lancers. I only have one healthy one, but in retrospect, I think like look at his cav too. Like yes, this is a pretty healthy citizen cav, but it's just a citizen cav. My Massilian cav is here. I have a good Tarantine whatever. And I still have a full lancer here, and his cav is very depleted as well. And my general's like still pretty healthy as well. So here I like block all these charges with that with this fucking Tarantine. I just send it into there. Again, the Tarantines have like decreasing value now. There's no slingers for them to kill. They just need to help out my cav, and I'm gonna get a nice engagement, kill off these two Thessalians, and now, this unit is isolated. These Thessalians are down. If these Thessalians die, it's all of his Thessalians are gone. He wasted two over here, now two over here, and that's going to give my Lancers a chance to win the game
Our men
by themselves.
flee
Again,
the field
recharging
of
this unit.
battle.
The infantry fight,
This is
not
a
going well,
shameful
but I
display.
did get those early charges, which means it's going to go better. My Thorax Sword, though, is already dead. It just got hooked in the center, I guess. I'm not really sure what happened to it. I'm going to go back a little bit. Yeah, see, it kind of got overextended in the center, it looks like. Nothing like that was really super my bad. It just kind of like took a fight. Let's see where it took a fight. Yeah, it just took a fight. Oh yeah, I kind of look at that. It did kind of overcommit. Actually, I didn't catch that. So it kind of overcommits past his general, and then dies to a cav charge. So yeah, I did waste that. So again, just kind of getting over aggressive there. Should just charge it into the blob with the general, to be honest. Because if he charges into the blob with the general, I'm pretty much safe from cav charges. Because his general's already like blocking models. Anyway, let's get back to the future. Or okay, that's where the cav, I get the cav out. So yeah, this was the cav that also didn't get a charge. It pulls out. And now you can kind of see, like, this Samite's going to break. This might, again, that's that double chevron axe warrior, which is helping it do a little bit better. I have a full axe warrior in this fight, which is actually going to do pretty well. Got a pretty clean charge, although I am losing in the center everywhere else. But yes, almost no cav, and you can see I still have my general at 60 men, this lancer at 60 men, this lancer half strength here, another Massilian cav at 60 health. So despite kind of going aggressive with some lancers, I kind of used only those lancers, and they're still alive even here at half strength. So mistakes were made, but he also kind of overcommits with his cav, and that's causing a bit of a problem now because now my cav can just end his
Our
cav,
men
and then
flee the
it can
field of
potentially just kill his
battle.
infantry. It's kind of
This
going to
is
be
a
similar to
shameful
last game.
display.
Nice charge there from the Lancer in here. And now you can see it's kind of a close cav fight. Like his reserves are killing my reserves. I just have more reserves, I guess is the way to think about this. But this time I don't really have as much infantry for the late game because all these infantry are just going to die. Maybe this guy's going to be okay, but he's only at 50
Our men
men. There's this full axe warrior on the right, but it's going to lose to the Sam Knight in the long term. But I do have these light freemen. They're going to help push the flank. And again, his infantry are winning, but they're also tied down right
flee
now.
the
So
field of
if I can kill
battle.
off some of his cav, I can potentially collapse the center. And that's kind of what I was saying. That's why I kind of wanted to keep some reserves on the right flank, because I can push him into the center here, um, and try to kill off
This
this
is a
center kind
shameful
of.
display.
So we're taking our kind of last ditch fights here. As you can see, his infantry is gonna win, but it's kind of on me to make a move like soon, and do something. I still have these Levy Freemen, which can at least like tie down his infantry, which is good because my cav, if they're alone, are just gonna win the game. But here he tries to go for my Tarantine.
Our
Again,
men
these guys still have
flee the
ammo, so they're gonna
field
be
of
able to do some damage to
battle.
that last Thessalian.
This is a
And now
shameful
you can see it's really just his Tarantines, his general, and that one Thessalian against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All like 6 of my cav are still here. Yes, some of them are depleted, but still do damage.
display.
Um, and now he's just trying to kill off my last Axe Warrior. But yeah, it kind of wastes time trying to go for that unit. My Letter Fury is just gonna run at that Thessalian and say like, oh, whatever, I can take you on. Here, you can just keep running away. Brazilian cav are faster. And now I just say, okay, if we're going to do something, we need to go for the general. And this Larry Freeman now is going to close the exit because even if he tries to run away this way, he's still going to get javelin. Not worth it. So now the exit is shut. His general is a little bit trapped. He can run away this way, but if he runs away this way, he opens up the entire rear line of his army um, to, to, to rear charges. And that would be okay, honestly, but not really great. Because these units are not healthy. This unit's not healthy. This unit's not healthy. This unit's not healthy. This unit is healthy, but it's fighting my healthy unit. So any rear charges here would actually be devastating. Like, okay, it wouldn't really technically be a rear charge anymore if if I charge this Italian sword, but it would just insta-kill it. So you don't want that to happen. So he runs away, but my Larry Freeman, like I said, locking down the flank, committing for that surround. Gonna get the javelin on the general and die, but that javelin is extremely valuable at this point. Here I run away from his Tarentines because there's a militia hoplite here. No reason to take unnecessary losses. This general, maybe he escapes here because he kills Larry Freeman, but he takes so many losses for it. My guys kind of get caught in melee. They kind of get caught here, and then yeah, I'm even saying to myself like, the only way to win at this point is to snipe the enemy gen because his infantry is just about to collapse everything, and he used this militia hoplite really nicely to prevent any like huge rear charges here. So I wasn't able to get out. I can probably finish this fight off with like this unit or this unit, but his general is still alive, and we'll see how many men. It was 21, I think. Um, and he's trying to just survive. But again, there's cav everywhere he goes. There's more cav, so it's not going to be easy. 46 men on that Lancer, 60 men on this Massilian cav. My general's still full, so 2 Massilian cav, but the Massilian cav are ultra useless in the late game if you can box up with infantry because they're just a medium mass. So I need at least 1 Lancer to be kind of healthy. This guy even is okay, but this unit, the most healthy one. And here comes that other Levy Freeman in from the flank to help this, collapse on the center here. And again, his general is so weak here. I can even just charge it with my whatever I can.
One of our units
I
has
don't.
used
Again, I pull this Massilian cav out around to go after his general here because my turn time might tie him down, but I need something to like kill it faster
all
ideally.
its ammunition.
My general just suicide charges in there, kill some Tarentines. Again, my general's full health here, so there's no javelins left on the field, so it's a completely safe charge. Levy Freeman then follow up to kill off this militia hoplite and allow my general to escape. And now my Lancer kind of pulls around and goes through this like small gap here to go rear charge this blob. Then these 2 units, Samnites, are still fighting. There's 1 Italian sword out here, but if I can clear this blob up, that's like decent, maybe get his gen. Then I can try to regroup and kill his Samnites in the endgame.
Getting spicy up in here.
And now, okay, his general's kind of caught at this point. Might be able to, like, finagle his way out, but nice charge from the Lancer. Clean rear charge on this whole blob. The Lancer also gets a rear charge on this Samnite, which is still holding on somehow. And now it's, like, really close. Like, he's going to get rear charge on this Axe Warrior at 60 men, going to kill it off. And it's just, like, a chaos fight. It's going to be, all about getting those morale penalties properly. And this militia hoplite only getting into the fight now. Imagine if it was already here just to get some more kills on Cav, man. I kill his unit over here. This Axe Warrior comes back from routing. It's like the small differences, everything can matter. His general definitely caught now. Lancer gets that clean charge, and everything in that blob routes the militia or the Italian sword. And now, of course, my cavalry getting recharged as well by his Samnites or by his Tarentine, sorry. And but this Lancer is just surviving with so many men. Here I realize I might just take a fucking base of Pula here, but whatever. I'm trying to go for that general. I don't think the general actually routed. The militia hoplites would have worse morale status if the general or sorry, not routed, but died. If the general died, the militia hoplites would have red or yellow morale for sure. But honestly, at this point, it's not looking so bad, right? Like, he has these 2 healthy Samnites, he has this healthy militia hoplite, this Italian sword is going down, this militia hoplite might win. I don't have too much cav, but I have pretty healthy cav. I have 3 pretty healthy cav. So it's winnable here.
Our men flee the
Just
field
committing
of
my
battle.
Tarentines to tie down these
This is a
cav.
shameful display.
And now he goes for like a charge here. Yes, Samnite support in this fight, so that's probably okay. But this other Samnite is very low. His general is very unhealthy, And now it's just like clean up everything that I can, and then like try to save what I can for the end game. I mean, at this point, number one goal, try to get charged into this blob where the big healthy Sam Knight is, and the general as well, who's very weak. And also, I need to be able to potentially extricate my Lancer. I zoom in here just to look at the where the models are, so I don't pull through. But yeah, I chase down the Italian sword here with my general. Again, my general pretty safe right now. Could be maybe doing stuff in the melee, but decides to just go hunt down the Italian sword. Don't want them to come back, obviously. Um, Cleaning up some of the blob. And yeah, at this point, it's looking actually pretty good because the Samnites weren't able to break through my Axe Warrior line in time to like save his Cav, basically. Now his general probably gonna go down. I pull out my Cav, he pulls out his general. Um, Nice charge in there, but now the enemy general actually dies right there trying to pull out, which is kind of unlucky, but he would eventually get hunted down no matter what, pretty much. But my Lancers are also eating shit. His Samnites don't care that the the general's dead, really. And he still has a lot of infantry, the Militia Hoplite, the two Samnites. Not, and again, I don't have too many Lancers, so here he actually makes a good decision in a second here. Well, he's grouping up, which is the right move. And now he's gonna go after, I don't know, this Lancer, again, yeah, I try to retreat, but he actually catches it with the Samurai, so it's like, or the Tarentine. So the third time the Lancer doesn't get a good charge. And now I have to make a decision. Now, of course, the Tarentines aren't good in melee, so I can run away from them, but only for so long, because, they will just, if I'm just running away, they're gonna get hits for free. And I'm slower, so I kind of get caught in
Our
here.
men
And
flee
now
the
it's actually,
field
could I
of
actually blow
battle.
this? Because if
This
my
is a
Lancer
safe
dies, it's
victory.
maybe losable. The Militia Hoplites can probably hold out with the Samnites against my Cav. So my General, my Lancer is just dying. I just commit into melee at this point, but I have this one Cav in the middle here that can go save my Lancer. And it doesn't need like a ton of men to survive to be worth it, or to be valuable. My General getting some good charges. And I still have like Levy Freeman, a small axe warrior in combat, but again, I'm not gonna have Cav. Or sorry, I'm not gonna have infantry in the end game now.
Our men
I'm just
flee
gonna
the
have only Cav against his infantry
field of
remains.
battle.
Not
This is
great,
a shameful
but yeah,
defeat.
the Lancer, once it just starts actually fighting, the melee defense and the armor and stuff means that his Tarentines are not going to get too many hits on them, so they're going to live. And now the other Cav can tie them down, I can run away. Even 20 men, that's still valuable. My other Cav just like YOLO charging in, kind of useless. But he's going to have two Militia Hoplites and that Sam Knight in the end game against my very depleted Cav, Axe Warrior, and the full General. But the General, again, it's just only a Massilian Cav. Even charges in his General's Suicide Charge to do a lot of damage to this other Massilian Cav, which is decent for him. Now he's gonna have to box up with his remaining units. I would be resting right now. There's no point in running. Like, you should just be resting, because again, I'm gonna be able to out rest him in the end game. But they're actually pretty fresh, so looks like it's fine. And yeah, he gets a nice Pila volley into the blob. That's gonna get maximal kills. Doesn't really matter what they're on at this point. The Lancer's at 20 men. The other Massilian Cav at 22. My General's pretty healthy, but it's not quite determined, I think. It's probably pretty winning for me, though. Because the general. And also the morale is just not going to be great for him. So actually, we just rest here. Because I realized he's like actually fresh, so I was like, fuck it, there's no point in attacking. Let me just rest myself. And so here's the end game setup. We're just triple speeding. Tell him I'm ready. So the Samba is a good unit in melee, so I'm gonna, and it also is the only unit that doesn't have shield wall or like phalanx, I guess, for the hoplites. So my Lancer is just lining up for a direct charge on the Sam Knight because I can pretty sure I can break the hoplites with morale penalties. So I'm gonna just chill and do that. His general's dead, so they're gonna have a constant penalty of the general being dead. So now what I want to do is charge in with this unit with my Lancer, just charge into the Sam Knight, and then follow up my Axe Warrior. So that should be able to kill off the Sam Knight. Maybe with the militia hoplites in support they won't win, but then when the militia hoplites, then I'm gonna charge these two units in, and that's gonna make the militia hoplite face these two units because they just got contacted, right? So they're all gonna face this cav, they're all gonna face this cav. Then my general's gonna come in for a rear charge. Hopefully, some models will leak through, recharge this unit. It's not really a recharge, it's an attack in the rear penalty essentially is what it is. And hopefully that will be enough to break them. Because once this actually will not hold on for too long. This Lancer is gonna probably die off this charge or mostly die. That might end up just being my general and like maybe some calves. So I kind of need to be careful that I don't, you know, if I don't get a route here, it could be my general versus two militia hoplites, and I'm not sure he'd actually win that because of phalanx giving that nice bracing bonus. So here we go. I just told Asseror I'm ready. Don't want to like charge off of the triple speed without him being ready. Although there's nothing you can really do. He says K, so we go. So I give the attack order here. I just want my cav to lead in front of my infantry here. I battle rhythm. I actually battle rhythm early because the battle rhythm like builds up and up and up in like how good it is, right? It has like a couple stages, with the last stage being the most buff. So I actually want them to get into combat closer to the last stage, so they don't just like rout before they actually utilize that. That's why I pop it a little bit early. Because like early on, that battle rhythm is not really doing anything to them, and they're only going to be in combat for a short period of time. Either I'm going to win or this unit's going to die. All right, so I want them to do the maximum damage for the short time they're alive. He opts to countercharge. I don't know if that's the right decision or not. Probably fine. But you can see, getting a lot of attacks in the rear penalties. I instantly pull out the Miscellaneous Cav. It's like a bigger unit. The Lancer is going to do more damage on the charge, so keep it in a little bit longer, then I pull it out. Miscellaneous Cav comes in. But you can see my units are also like, well, my shitty units are wavering, but they're also just like dying. But the Samurai breaks, which is good.
Our men
My unit
flee the
breaks, so they're
field of
probably not going to
battle.
rout.
This
But
is
yeah,
a
you can see they
sacred
actually
victory.
stabilize here. And it might, but the samurai breaking is huge because now these 23 axe warriors that are fresh and battle rhythm can actually do a lot of damage to the militia hoplites. If the samurai's killed the axe warrior, then you know the militia hoplites are just fighting cav. Now they have to fight the infantry fight too, and my lancer actually lives quite a few men. So at this point, it's like pretty much winning. Just cycle charge into oblivion. You can see like look how little that charge did in terms of impact because of the bracing given by phalanx. Pretty insane.
The
But that
battle
guy
is turning in
routes,
our
and
favor.
that should just about end it. So two very, very, very close battles. Mistakes on both sides, as is sort of like inevitable in like a game with so much micro and high intensity. But in the end, just enough. And I think what ended up being was just my cav survived, you know, a little bit better in the trades, and that was sort of always the case because my cav was a little bit better in melee, in terms of my Massilian cav, and a lot more in terms of my highest lancers. So if I was able to take pretty clean cav trades, you know, then I was going to be good. And of course, it has to happen fast enough before my infantry just dies, right? And in both games, you know, my infantry lost, maybe, yeah, essentially lost, but it held out long enough where I was able to keep enough of it alive for an end game where I could take cav fights that were like clean. In both games, infantry really didn't play a huge factor in the cav fights. It was a lot of cav versus cav and infantry versus infantry, which means that my cav superiority was able to kill his cav, and yes, his infantry would win, but it was not enough because the cav versus infantry endgame was just enough in my favor. In the second game, it was a little bit more like both sides were using cav against infantry, but again, even that was like more favorable for me, because my cav just has a little bit more survivability. So even with those bad charges that I got, it didn't punish me too hard, whereas when his cav overcommitted, I was able to catch that and punish it more hard by like completely killing the unit or making it almost useless. And and that's pretty much it. So go see the stats. You can see like again, a couple lancers getting shitted on, but a couple lancers doing really well. One Massilian cav getting shit on, a couple of them doing really well. It's sort of whatever. There's general again that the general also made a huge mistake in this game. Um, Charging forward and letting me get a lot of kills on him early on. Samnite's again doing really well. Again, Citizen Cav just so tough when they get into melee fights, you know, they just don't do well. And the Shoplites did fine. But here are the Axe Warriors and the Celtic Warriors did a little bit better than the last game. The Thorax Sword still got rolled though. But that was kind of my own fault, not really the Thorax Sword's fault. But yeah, very close games. Well played to a start. Worthy final, I think. But in the end, 2-0 for me, so I win. Uh, this this CoN. Massilia overall very interesting faction, fun to play. But yeah, hopefully this like live play shit was like an interesting way to commentate the games. You obviously like can't see everything, or you have less knowledge because you can only see what you're clicking on, like unit statuses and stuff. But it also just gives an interesting way to like see how I micro stuff. Or maybe I didn't pay too much attention to that, like why it's more important to micro X over Y, but I think it was kind of fairly obvious in most cases. Um, But anyway, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Peace.